that never left my mind, even as a young kid, 6, 7 years old. You know what I mean? He was abusive. You know what I mean? I actually saw where he actually had, put his hands on my mom, and that was a scar, and it didn't affected me, but I know that's what I was not gonna do. You know what I mean? And so she fled that situation. She ended up, leaving. We fled. I said, damn, I fled. We fled the situation, and ended up, like I said, we pretty much regrouped. Got with my stepfather, stepbrothers, and pretty much made a whole new life. And there's no telling where that situation could have gone had she had not made those type of moves. So, like I said, during that time period, I actually, like you said, I was a witness of that, and I knew I was determined not to go that route. And you actually got to look at it, because that's physically being abusive, but it's also verbally abusive. That happens a lot too. I actually watched. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? So I got my grandfather and grandma situation. Never saw my grandfather ever put his hands on my grandma. But it's just the verbal thing. You know what I mean? He grew up in a different time where men do certain things. We run our household. Woman, you in your place, do what you're supposed to do. But I saw that as well. But my grandfather, had an alcohol issue, and at that time he was he wasn't his normal self. But I saw where he acted out, and was like, "Listen, get away from me. What are you doing?" You know what I mean? And that's a form of verbal abuse.
Right. Not to cut you off. Yep. My grandfather, he was the same way too. He couldn't drink in the house because my grandmother was, very religious. Her father was a minister, right? This was my step grandmother, because my grandmother died when my mother was young, my original one. But anyway, he used to get the same way too. But see, this is what I feel about people that drink, and they want to mess with people, or they got to argue, or they want to fight. That's false courage. That's the courage that you cannot do when you're sober. So to me, if you got to drink in order to put your hands up or get aggressive with somebody or tell somebody how you feel or what's on your mind, then you need to leave it alone. You don't need to do that at all.
Right.
Definitely that.
That is correct. So how did you feel? I mean, from that point, you know what I'm saying, and in your relationships, because I'm sure you was married for a long time. So 25 years, and I don't want to dig into your super personal life, but I'm sure, how did you handle conflict resolution? I'm sure y'all had arguments. You know what I mean? I'm sure you got angry at her. She got angry at you.
This is my thing, and I tell anybody this. I had a guy here on the major radio station, V103, say that that's the wrong approach. But this is my approach. If you live in a house, a big apartment, a house, you need to have a TV in every room, because it's a chill-out time. It's a time where, she go in the room and be mad and soap. You go in the room to watch TV and think about how you're going to make things better. Because to me, I think a lot of men who have any type of knowledge will find a way to keep his household at peace. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I used to do. I used to go in another room and sit, watch my games and whatnot, and just think about, how can I make this situation? How did the argument get started? Why did I feel this way? Why she feel the way she feel? And then just go use reverse psychology and try to make things better, And a lot of times that worked. I mean, I was there 25 years. It had to work, So,
right.
Hey man, I look at I look at it the other day. The 27th of this month would have been 30 years if she hadn't walked away. So I felt that I was that man, that I was there, man. Never had to hit her, You know what I'm saying? Never called out a name or none of that, you know, because when you start doing that, you don't need to be with somebody. You need to get away from them quick.
Yes. I mean, to walk away from the situation, that's my thing. I actually, because, you know, of course, like I said, we're in relationships, so we know that, you know, we're married, we're going to get angry at each other. So in our situation, we know how to de-escalate, you know what I mean? Walk away from the situation. If I have to leave and just leave, then that's just what I have to do, you know? Hey,
right, yeah, definitely that, man. You know, hey man, get out the house, man. You know, but for this man to say what he said, big time DJ here in Atlanta. You know, he cool. I'm cool with him too.
Right.
For him to say that he don't think that I should have went about that way doing it. Some people said you what they call that I can't think of the word right now. It's not in denial. It was something self-something. Well, whatever it was, huh?
Self-indulgent, self-centered.
No, I can't think of the word. It'll probably come to me later after I get off the phone. But anyway, you know, for a person to say that and they have a wife and kids, you know what I'm saying? I felt, you know, I could have challenged, but they ain't gonna let you stay on the radio and challenge them. They want their people to think, for you to think that they're better than what you were calling up saying, you know. So I couldn't challenge the way I wanted to challenge. Then we did have a talk after that, you know, when I seen him again out in the streets. And he said, well, you know, homie, it's about radio. I said, I understand it's about radio, but it's just that, you know, you try to make me look real bad, you know what I'm saying? And whatnot. One of the words you could have kept out without saying. I would have took everything else you said, but that one word you said made me think, wow, is he really cool with me or what? He wanted to embarrass me or what, you know?
Right.
But a lot of people in Atlanta know me. You know that, Kysii. A lot of people in Atlanta know me.
Right.
Because I've been around a lot of big circles. So for my man to be on the radio like that, and I'm talking to him about a subject that they brought up, I felt kind of, I felt kind of bad about the situation in a way. So if I was one of them drinkers, like you said, domestic violence, if I was one of them drinkers, I would have went and got something to drink when I met him and we was kicking it, you know, eating a little something and drinking.
Right.
I would have showed down. But I'm not that guy, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Who else joined us on the line here? I'm sorry, we had another call. Who else joined me? Are you there? Hello?
Hey, Kysii. Hey, Kysii.
This is Angela.
A special guest.
Hey, Angela.
That's my buddy. What's going on, Miss Angela?
Hi, guys. What's up?
We're talking about domestic violence today. You know what I mean? We spoke about the topic. You know about the topic. Alma must have had something come up. We didn't talk to her. So we're just improvising, going with it. We actually talked about it was two things here when it comes to domestic violence. One is, do you and your partner respect each other's boundaries without getting angry or making each other feel bad? The second one is there mutual respect for privacy? And those are two things that are very...
Are there any other women on the call? Is there anyone else on the call?
Not yet. No.
Okay, so this conversation is very one-sided right now. It's very one-sided, but go ahead.
Listen.
Wait, hold on, Angela. Hold on, Kysii. Well, why so one-sided, Angela? I don't think we said nothing that really made a woman felt guilty or bad about the situation. You know.
Well, I know you guys are good guys. You're the good guys. I get that. I don't even have to listen to know that because you're both good men. So I mean, I get that. But the reason I asked, you know, whether there are any other women on the phone is because as a woman, almost every woman I know, including myself, has been a victim of some type of domestic violence, whether it was a boyfriend, a husband, or most of the women I know, there's been some type of physical abuse in relationships, whether it's shoved you up against the wall or hair. We've been through that. Most women I know have. I mean, and everybody's level of fear and staying and rationalizing, why he do it, or I made him mad, and all those kinds of things are different for each person. So I just want to make sure that that you guys know that there are men who are not like you, who don't control their children, who don't know how to take care of women. And usually it's men who've been raised by someone who was, who was abused in front of them and who just didn't learn any better. And they feel like it's the norm. And that's usually what happens. But,
Right.
I mean, it's more common than most men think.
It said 1 out of 4. That's one of the stats. 1 out of 4 women.
Or either this, Angela. Also the men that use false courage by drinking to express themselves to you and take out other things that's going on in their life with you. I've seen that happen a lot of times. You know what I'm saying?
I agree to a certain extent, but I feel like not just men. I mean, I think people in general use alcohol or influences drugs or alcohol or whatever as a crutch and as an excuse for bad behavior. Because I've drank before and I got a little rowdy, but I didn't put my hands on nobody. Wanted to, but I didn't.
Right.
I've also smoked weed. I hope my job is not hearing this, but I was in college, and so I mean, that's the only drugs I've done, thanks to Jesus. But you live and you learn, and that still did not excuse bad behavior. So I think we have to be more accountable for who we are under whatever circumstances. Because your real character and morals come out no matter what you're doing or who you're with.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question, Angela. Being that you was in that situation before, right, and now that you have a different relationship and marriage, right?
Right.
You seem to me, because I know you real personal now, you seem to me to be the type of woman that don't use that man because of the way he is. You don't use him in a bad way and try to take advantage of him by being tough with him. Some women do that. You know what I'm saying? So, but, we also got to look at that, too, because I see a lot of women, they get a good guy after they've been tortured most of their life. They get a good guy. They try to be dominant over that good guy, because that good guy just want to be the man that he is. And, they start taking advantage of him. And, see, that's one thing I don't like about some women. Like you said, it goes both ways. So it goes both ways on both relationships, as far as the man and the wife, or the wife and the man, And it's just something that we need as one to get together and have a forum and get people in there that's been experiencing this. As far as like me and Kysii, when we kids, we seen our mother get beat. We need to have a forum so we can wake people up from this, because I look at it like this. It's getting bad every day, because I see on the news every day this is happening, and all I can do is shake my head. A lot of times I don't even want to listen to the news because this stuff is happening. And if we don't step up to the front for it's going to keep happening, and we're going to see people dead for no reason at all.
Yeah.
So to just elaborate, can I elaborate on something today? And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take over.
Go ahead.
Like I normally do around the house. So I want to elaborate on my own experience just a little bit, not to tell all of my business or put it out there. I was very young. I was a teenager. I was 17 or 18. I had to be 17 or 18. I think I was just out of high school maybe. And it was a boyfriend, and it wasn't like it was what, I thought it was the love of my life. Of course, I was 17, didn't know no better. It happened one time. It only took one time for me because I had a different mindset and a strong family, and, my brother kicked his ass that same day, and it never happened again because I was never with him again. So I think when we talk about, talking about this and making this a something that is part of our community, substance and things that we, advocate in our communities, especially, like I said, I think the number Kysii 1 in 4 women, I think that usually numbers like that for minorities is usually double. It's usually that's for women all across the board, but usually for black women and minority women, that number is double. So 50% of the women that usually have been abused, and that's just something I read a while back. So my mindset was different. I didn't stay in that situation. It was one time, and as far as getting with my husband, who is completely different, I think that comes with maturity and being happy with self. Because when you're not happy with self, it don't matter how great your guy is, how horrible he is. If you ain't happy with self and you take care of yourself, you will allow yourself to be in a lot of different types of